the importance of not being afraid to get to zero, reset, and start over. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Own Your Greatness. My name is Melinda Van Fleet. I'm an intuitive and energetic empowerment mentor. And let's dive right in. This topic has come up several times in the past few weeks with myself, with my husband, and also with a few clients. And that is not being afraid to get to zero. What does that mean? Often when we're working on something, on trying to achieve our goals or trying to start something, we have to start over and clear out other things that may be considered clutter and get to zero. Have a fresh start, have a reset. And for the vast majority of us in this journey, it can be a little scary. Imagine you're moving and you need to clean out your closets and you don't want to throw away that trusty old sweater that has amazing memories and likely a few holes or doesn't even fit anymore. Could be too small, could be too big, but we need to throw it away. And it can be scary because if you continue to hold on to all these old things, what it does is it's actually creating energetic layers of resistance that you're likely not even conscious of. You're likely not even conscious of it. I even remember when I released weight in 2020, I had to start over at zero. And that's how this topic came up with a client. I was like, oh my gosh, I actually went through this process with releasing weight. At the time, I wasn't conscious of all the dynamics associated with that, but letting go of all the different foods and drinks that I used to consume brought me to zero. And then I started to build up from there. This also happens if you're working with a doctor, if you have allergies, or maybe something else that's wrong with you and you can't really figure it out. A licensed doctor may have you totally get rid of like everything in your diet or all of the products you use, whether it's skin products or detergents, and you have to get to zero and stabilize and then build up from there. I used to have a roommate when I was in sales way back when. I haven't talked to her in a long time. I'd actually love to say hi. She's lovely. And she suffered from severe depression. And she became over medicated from just the industry, giving her different like pills to take. And she actually just had too much. And it overloaded her system and made her worse. So she had to go down to like nothing and re-regulate her body and her system and go from there. Now, I have no idea if she is still on any type of medication for anti-depression and things like that. But gosh, it would be amazing if she realized she didn't have to do that, right? That would be even another major thing, major miracle, right? That would be so cool. But if you need to, then that is your choice. So think about that. Think about like, what are you trying to achieve and what may be something that you truly need to fully get rid of? Not just a little bit. Oh, I'll skip, having that extra snack, but I'm still going to eat all these other things. It's likely not going to help you move the needle in terms of releasing that weight. That's what I experienced. I was like, today I'm going to cut out dairy for a year and see what happens. Didn't work. Then I cut out alcohol and that didn't work. I had to go down to zero and completely reset my entire metabolic system, figure out what worked for me, and start completely over. It's very interesting. You'll see how this shows up in all parts of your life. I've talked about this before. Last year in 2024, I cut out all networking, Zooms, I really eliminated being on various podcasts and in different types of, containers and things like that. I just had to get rid of everything. I had to cut out all of these different coaching programs I was in, some that were free, some I was paying for, because it was consuming so much of my time and so much of my energetic bandwidth. And I was involved in all these groups with all these women that were just at different levels. And I'm sure they're wonderful people, but just not on the same page. I had to cut out everything and go to zero to find myself again, and then be like, okay, who did I miss? Who was really in my field and we're on the same page? Whether it was in the coaching or friends or whatever, right? So you have to strip that all away to get to zero. Another concept that I find fascinating that I've never really quite grasped, but one aspect of it I want to share today, and that's feng shui. So if you're into feng shui, you may get this and you may have more to add to this conversation than what I have to add. But one thing I've always noticed was in feng shui, you don't want to have things in the corners. You don't have things in the corners of your home, right? And that is the same concept for your life. You have all these things like in the corners. So you need to clean them out. You need to clean your house. You need to open up a cabinet. I found a cabinet this morning, actually. I'm going to clean this weekend, like a little cabinet over my toilet. I just need to clean it. I need to clean it out. Throw things away. Get to zero. If I can make that an empty cabinet, that would be amazing. I don't know if I can. Maybe I can. Maybe I can consolidate something. Don't know. We'll see how it goes. But these are simple concepts, but not always easy. But they will help you fill in the gaps then to get to where you want to go. They will eliminate things, and then other things will be able to come in and fill in those gaps because you've let go of resistance. You've let go of layers of resistance. And sometimes those actual things that we hold on to, I was trying to grab something here in my car, but I don't have anything. Those actual things have a bigger symbolic meaning for us energetically that we need to release. And that is expanding your consciousness around those actual things, those 3D things. You'd be like, why am I holding on to this? Why am I holding on to this? Oh, I need to release this. Maybe it's an old picture in a picture frame, friends with somebody years ago, not friends with them anymore. Something happened, release it. Just release it. Do like your own energetic clearing in this process as well. Like be really intentional, really conscious, really intentional. Let it go. Don't go in a mind loop about it. Period. End. Move. Because you want to be bringing all of that back up. You don't need to bring all of that back up. You just need to like close the door with love and move on. So I think that this concept of getting to zero and feeling safe in your body, and if you watched my video from the day before, I talk about safety, and I've mentioned safety in some of my other videos too. It's super important. And that's what happens when people like burn the boats. It's the same concept. It's just in terms of like you quit your job, you stopped all these things, you burned the boats. You got to zero. Or if something happens to you, like when Ryan and I lost our jobs at the same time in 2009, we lost everything. We got to zero. We got to zero and we started over. And we asked to feel safe. We decided we felt safe. And then things went from there. So all of these things go hand in hand when you expand your consciousness and you start to zoom out and you start to see how this all plays together. So watch those other videos and start to connect the dots. That is conscious awareness, connecting the dots. So then you can kind of go, oh, I see this. And then if you ask the right questions to the universe for help along the way, like these things will resonate and make sense for you. So I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments. melindavanfleet.com is my website. If you are watching this on the 4th of July weekend, I hope you have a beautiful 4th of July. Until next time, bye for now.